Hello there. Today we're going to tie this. This is a pattern that's meant for roach, or it could be a smaller pike pattern as well, but it is a bit small for pike in my estimation. But also this would probably be a very nice pattern for bass, or even if you tied this on saltwater hooks, proper saltwater hooks, this probably could be a good pattern for some saltwater species as well. I'll tie this on the Arex trout predator hook in size 1.0. And the idea about this fly is to have a fly that bounces and really is very lively in the water. So we're going to use a lot of Marabou for this one. The first thing we need to do is before we actually start tying is to attach a 4.5mm tungsten bead, and we do this to add some weight to the fly and make sure it has this bouncy jigging effect in the water. When that is done, you basically just add your tying thread here. And you move your tying thread all the way down to where the hook starts to bend. Just add a bit more tying thread here to have a solid base for the rest of the materials. And then we're gonna start actually tying the fly. For this I need a material that is called barred marabou. These barred marabou feathers are basically just hand-picked, hand-selected marabou feathers of a very good quality that has been dyed so it kind of resembles a grizzly feather. You can get these in numerous different colors. All of them, of course, are available at flytying.eu, where you also will be able to find the full material kit for this fly. And when you pull these out of the package, they're clumped a bit together. This does not mean that the quality of these feathers are not excellent, because they are. It just means you have to take your brush and simply just brush the feathers out. The quality of these feathers will endure that you actually brush these, and then you get a very nice, very good quality marabou feather with all the striations on there. So basically what I do is I take this feather here. And there's some of this really far down here on the feather I don't need. And then I place it inside two of my fingers. So I kind of make a scissor with my fingers. And as you can see, I've brushed all the fibers so they're pointing out. And then I put one of the sides here in between my two fingers. You could do this with a tool, but my fingers works great for this. And then basically I cut with my scissors all the way up along the feather stem. So now I have completely all the materials from one side of the feather here in between my fingers. And then I add this up here, like so, to give me a tail, to give me one bundle of marabou fibers here. That's gonna be my tail. This is quite fluffy, very lively in the water, and has these nice striations. So I take this and I place it here on the hook, like that. Tie this down, like so. And that's the first part of the tail here. So there you have the tail. If you want, you can take your brush and brush it a bit more. If there's still a few of the fibers here that are clumping a bit together, then you get your tail. Then I take another material. This is called ripple ice fiber. And I take a bundle of this, and this is a nice fiber. It's a fleshy fiber, but it has some curls and some grooves to it. So it really shines a lot. It has a very nice feel and a nice rugged look to it. And I simply add a bundle of that, so it's gonna cover the tail all the way around, like so. And all this that was pointing forward, I simply just point that backwards and tie this down again. So we don't waste any materials, and we have a nice and fleshy effect here in the tail part of the fly, like this. Well, great. Then off to the next part. Then I'm gonna make the body here on this fly with something that's called Polar Reflector Flash, which is kind of like a synthetic hackle. It's on kind of like a small string with a lot of fleshy fibers on there. So I'm tying this down here. moving my thread out of the way. And basically you just turn this kind of like it was a hackle. And that will make all these nice and shiny fibers stick out, kind of like a hackle, but it has a bit more flash, and this makes up a nice body, because the body here is not going to be too dense. It's not going to be, it's not going to soak up water and stuff like that. So this fly will be fairly easy to cast as well. And basically, I just turn this around the hook shank here to approximately halfway up the hook shank. So halfway up the hook shank. Then I tie this down here. It's a pretty cool material for loads and loads and loads of fly, this polar reflector flash. I really use it a lot, also for pike flies and for larger trout flies and stuff like that. This could actually be used for trout as well, for big trouts in big water. There is a lot of talk and a lot of trends out there for tying big trout flies, big trout streamers, and this could definitely go into that category. So I've now made the whip finish. Then I push my my tungsten bead down here, and then I attach my my thread on the other side of the tungsten bead again, because here I want another contrasting color of the polar reflector flash to be the next part of the fly. You could go with red, or you can go with orange, or whatever color you fancy. I'm gonna go with red for this one. So I tie down a piece of red polar reflector flash, like so. Then again, it's just like before. I'm gonna turn this, folding it back every time I turn. So it's gonna be like a hackle, like this. And this basically is just to add a bit of contrast and to give it some other color than besides the chartreuse color scheme here. So I tie this down here like this. Cut this off. 1 second, I think there's a customer here. So as I was saying, take the red polar reflector flash here, tie this down, and then tie a bit further back here. Like so. Then I'm going to take another bundle of the rippleized fiber in chartreuse. Again, try to distribute it. This should not be as long as the tail, but maybe go a bit into the tail to get the right composition. And take that and turn it backwards, like so. Like that. And then for the finishing touch is going to be a hackle made from one of these grizzly these barred marabou feathers here. This one is very nice, but it's not as nice for a hackle as some of the others. So I'm just going to pick the best one, the one that has the most in the tip. This one will do very nicely. As you can see, really outstanding quality of feathers, like so. And this I'm gonna tie in the tip of the feather here. So basically I pull all the fibers backwards until I have the tip, like that. Tying this down here. And as I was saying, I think this pattern could probably work very well, or the idea behind this fly could definitely work well for some baitfish patterns, for let's say rooster fish, or probably even giant trevally, or Jack Crevalle, or maybe even redfish. I don't know that much about those, but I seem to see they feed on and for small tuna definitely as well. Bonito and stuff like that. Dorado, this would be great for Dorado. Also, like so. So I'm turning and turning the hackle here to give it that final touch, and also to fill out my my fish mask, which I'm gonna apply in a second. And these marabou feathers here, they really makes this fly come together and be very much alive in the water. Marabou is one of the greatest materials, and I use it quite a lot because it simply adds so much movement to any fly, and I really like that marabou. Like this, making sure it's all fastened completely here before I make my whip finish. And as you can see, the red polar reflector flash will stand out here, and especially once this gets wet, you will definitely see the contrast in there. It's gonna resemble gills and stuff like that. Make the whip finish. And then I'm gonna take a fish mask here in the size 6, and the size of these fish masks is referring to the size of eyes that you need to add to the head. So I just take this, and then I put some sabagap inside here. I simply take the head and then put some sabagap inside the head. And more often than not, if you have a nice and thick hackle, then this will be enough to actually hold the head in place, like so. Otherwise, you can make your head with the tying thread a bit bigger, and that will also help to keep the head in place. Then I turn this on the side, add some glue to the groove, the dentation that is fitted into this head for the eyes, like so. And then I'm gonna take a 6mm eye, an orange one. I think these are called lifelike eyes, like this. Add one to the other side as well. Nice eyes, not that expensive. Really looks absolutely astounding. And there you have it, a great small bait fish, ideal for bass, for roach and stuff like that. I've designed this fly for roach here in Denmark, but I'm sure this will be a killer also for roach, for instance. So a nice pattern for the semi-large predatory fish out there. Thank you for watching, and as always, if you like this fly, please like and comment here below. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, or swing by my web shop to see the complete material list and buy all the materials in this fly. Thank you a lot for watching, and have fun and good luck out on the water.